Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel Middleware Techie. Myself Sakshi, and from today onwards, we'll look into each palette items one by one. So today we'll look into Content Modifier. So the Content Modifier is an important component in SAP CPI or SAP CI that allows you to modify the content of message during its processing. Content Modifier enables adding, removing, or changing messages, message headers, properties, and the payload. Key function of content modifier includes message headers, message properties, and message body or the payload. Message headers are used to pass metadata information along with the messages. Message properties are used for storing data within the integration flow for later stages. And message body or the payload is the actual data or content being processed. So what's the difference between headers and properties? Headers are the part of messages that travels with it to the receiver. They are useful for transport level information. And properties are local to the integration flow and are not sent to the receiver. These are used to store and transfer data between steps in integration flow. For example, temporary values are counters used within the flow that can set in the properties. You can see here in the message headers there are various sections with actions, name, source value, data type, default value. We'll look into each of them in practical session. I will share this presentation with you so you can have a look on theoretical part. Let's just jump into our integration suite and look what content modifier is. So this is home page of our integration suite. You go to design section, integration and APIs. Here we'll create one package. We'll name the package as content modifier. We'll save paste in the description. Save it. Then we'll go to the artifacts. Here we'll create one artifact. Artifact means integration flow itself. We'll name it here as content modifier demo. Click on the artifact. You will see this window here. This one is a simple integration flow without any connectors, adapters and pallet items. So very first step in any integration flow is to connect sender to the start. Let's connect it. Here we have to choose adapter as HTTPS. Go to the configurations. Go to connection. Here we need to give address. This address is used for specifying the target address where the message is sent. This can be configured in integration process for dynamic routing. We'll give here name as, or the address we can give here as content modifier demo. Just remember, you cannot use spaces here, so instead of that you can use underscore. Next is authorization. We'll keep authorization as user role. The user role is esp messaging.send. So in SAP Cloud Integration user roles are important for defining permissions and capabilities of different users interacting within integration platform. The user role esbmessaging.send is specific authorization role that grants the necessary permission to send messages within the Enterprise Service Bus or ESB of SAP Cloud Integration. So here we'll keep this user role as esbmessaging.send. Next is the CSRF protected. CSRF protection in HTTP, we can say it as cross-site request forgery. It is a security feature that ensures integrity of HTTP request by verifying that the request is coming from an authenticated user. In cloud integration, CSRF protection is important when making HTTP calls to ensure that the requests are legitimate and not forged by malicious entity. So that is why we'll keep it as enabled. Next condition, keep it as it is. Now, let's take content modifier from the palette items. In the transformation palette items, content modifier is present. Let's take it and put it here. In general, what we do is we'll name content modifier. So we'll name it as say hi. For now, message header and exchange property will keep empty. Go to the message body. We give here a message as hi there. Let's save the integration flow. This is a very simple integration flow we have created so far. Deploy the integration flow. You click on the screen anywhere, we'll get this integration flow configuration window, and here go to deployment status. Go to this navigate to manage integration content. New tab will open. Here you can see the list of deployed integration flows. This one is our integration flow content modified demo. We'll check for the endpoint. Whenever you see there are no endpoints configured, what you can do is just refresh the window. Now you can see the endpoint of our integration flow. Just copy this endpoint and you need to open your Postman. I have created one collection, and in the request section, paste the request. So, to trigger this integration flow, what we need is authorization. Go to the authorization section. Here we need basic authorization. Now you can see it asks for username and password. So from where we can get that username and password? For that, you need to go to our Integration Suite, Instances and Subscriptions. Go to the Instance section. While setting up our trial account, we have created the service keys. And in the service key, we'll get our username and password. So the client ID is username and client secret is password. We'll just copy this client ID and paste here. Again, copy the client secret and paste in the place of password. Save it and now send it. You can see here standard response for successful HTTP request. So we have successfully triggered our first integration flow, and you can see the message from content modifier. You can see here hi there. So what content modifier did is it just passed that message to the integration flow. We have placed our message in message body. Now you can see we got our message in Postman as well. So what is the use of this message header and exchange property? Let me show you. Let me just take one more content modifier. Place it here. And now we'll name it as say good morning. Go to message header. Here you can see there are various fields like action, name, source type, source value, data type, default values. What are those? Let me explain them. So in action, we can either create or delete header. Here in place of name, we have to give name of our header. Next is source type. Source type determines where the value is coming from to set a header, property or payload. It contains various options like constant, expression, global variable, header, local variable, number range, property and XPath. So what is it? Constant is a fixed value you can specify. For example, if we need to set header, we can use it as constant value. Next, XPath. XPath extracts data from the XML payload using XPath expression. We can use it for extracting an order ID from XML order message. Expression. Expression uses Groovy or simple expression to compute the value. Next, header. Header uses value of an existing message header. Property uses value of an existing message property. Next, number range. Number range is used to generate sequential or unique numbers for various purposes within integration flows. This can be particularly useful for creating identifiers, tracking transaction sequences, or ensuring uniqueness in message processing. So, in next sections, we'll look into each of them. We'll also look practical sessions on these. Next is source value. It is the actual value or expression used to set header, property, payload based on the source type. Next is data type. It specifies type of data being handled or expected. Next is default value. It is nothing but the fallback value used if the specified source value does not return any data or if any error occurs. We can say default value is nothing but a placeholder. So what we can do is, let's create one header and extends property and see how it works. So here, in place of name, I will write name only, constant, source value as Sakshi. Next, go to the exchange property. We'll add one property here. Here, we'll write as morning, constant, source value as good morning. Now go to the message body. Here, when we use message header and extends property in message body, there is a way to find header and property in message body. Let me show you how we can write it as. Suppose I want to show message as hello Sakshi, good morning. So how can I write it? Let's see. Hello, dollar symbol, header dot name of the header. So this is how we write header. Next we have to write property dollar property dot morning. Now let's see what message we'll get in Postman. So deploy the integration flow. Check if it started. You can see here it's showing starting, so it's not started yet. We'll refresh it. Now it started. Go to the Postman and send it again. So why we got the same message we placed in our integration flows content modifier? Let me show you. Whenever you are fetching header and messages, we need to use type as expression here. Because we are not using constants here, we are using expressions as we are fetching headers and properties. So that is why we need to use expression here. Let's just deploy it once again. Let's see if it started. Now it started. Let's send the request. Now you can see what message I got. Hello Sakshi, good morning. So this is how headers and properties works. Now you must be wondering that what happened to this message. This hi there, where it's gone. So when we use two or more content modifiers in one single process, it will show the data of second content modifier only. So what if I want data from the first content modifier as well? So for that, what we do is in the second content modifier, wherever I need the data, I'll write as dollar in dot body. So this dollar in dot body expression basically fetches data from the previous content modifier. Let me just separate the both messages. Now deploy the integration flow again. Send the request again. Now you can see we have got two messages. This hi there from first content modifier and this one is from second content modifier. So this is all about content modifier. In next sessions, we'll look into other source types like XPath, number range, expression, etc. So that's all for today. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel and we'll see you in the next session. Thank you.